Welcome back, profit takers. It's your favorite YouTuber. So today we are going to talk about one of my favorite signals on the PTAD, which is the 33. Right, the PTAD 33. Or now sometimes it can present as a 44. Okay, but definitely when I start to see the market maker cycle extend past 3 days from the peak or of the peak. I think I should just start saying of the peak, right? Because technically, so we're looking at Aussie. Technically, Monday, that was a breakout fail, right? So let's look at this real quick. Guys. If I can, there we go. Sometimes it behaves and sometimes it doesn't. So last Friday, it was an inside day. I don't think this means anything when it just touches it a little bit down there. I don't know if that's a big impact, but definitely when Monday came, it broke through the inside bar, right, on the low. And this was the low, right? This was the first peak low. Now, the indicator, so to confirm that this is the low, right? Once we broke this low, right? It has to break like the other side of a daily level for it to then be confirmed that this is going to be the low. And so it did it here on Tuesday, right? And we know Tuesday will typically extend the range. So we did break through, right, the level, the previous day high levels. You can see here it's illustrated with the white line. So obviously, this particular strategy, you're going to need to have a few things. You're going to need to have a previous day high and low indicator, which you can then also have, like this one is, let me show you. I have it's in the description too, the high low. Okay, the high low, it's in the description. So I have it to show the previous day high and low and the close. I just have it to show the close because I don't need to have it to show the open price. I just need the closing price. Okay. And again, this is in the description and it's free. Okay. And this is for MetaTrader 5. Now, if you have MetaTrader 4, in my locals, there is the day open indicator there, all the free indicators. Okay. But MT5, this is something that you'll need to add, right? Now, another thing, so if this, for example, if this did not, usually when price breaks out and then it closes back in, that's just a sign. That's a sign that we're possibly going to be going long. It's going to go sideways and then we're going long. I've noticed that when price closes back in, we're looking to go long, or hopefully to confirm that this is the peak. So then once this becomes confirmed by hitting this daily level, because we had this daily level broken, then this becomes technically day one, which so happens to be anyway the regular weekly template anyway. But the PTAD is going to mark this as, you know, your day one, right, of the peak low. So that's how that works, guys. Okay. So now we know that we are confirmed long, right? We are looking for higher highs, right? Because that's basically what it means to go long. And the whole idea of this video is the whole 3 days of breakouts. And once that is confirmed, guys, we did close, you know, we have the high here and it kind of closed and breakout. It's so small, right? Right. It did close and breakout. So we have this level here, right? That's going to now break. So that's one. Okay. And the way I had the indicator done was like, hey, I needed the count to start once the peak was established, right? And so then that's how we do the one. Now, sometimes when the market resets for whatever reason, you have to actually use your eyeballs, right? And it's not going to fully count it. But in this example, it did, right? So we had our peak low, we had our first break. And then, of course, on the next day, we had our second break here. As we can see, it broke the previous day level, right? And then on Friday, we broke it again. As you can see, we broke it. And then we had if you guys can see, we had the lower low inside. So when they give you that signal, guys, it's beautiful, right? So we had our double top, our M, and then we got the reversal here in the earlier session. Nothing for us in New York. Nothing. Okay. But somebody got the trade, right? Lucky y'all. Y'all got the trade. So that is one of my favorite setups, right? Sometimes it means that it changes the whole trend, and sometimes it does not. It's just a pullback in the trend, and it's still going to keep going, right? So let's look at one that's a 44 instead of a 33. Let's see what that looks like. This is Euro AUD. All right, we have our peak high here. Friday here, guys, we are closed in breakout, right? So the longs are in the market. And then we broke through this level, beautiful long trade for the earlier session. And of course, it established, Monday establishes the open range for the new week, right? So we were in breakout and it failed. So as you can see, right, we had the previous day high here, and then it broke this low. So once it broke this low, that's when this was confirmed as a peak high, right? So then technically that was day one. This is day two. And it also gave us a signal, right? Because it closed below the open to short on day three, right? So it did. Earlier session. This is an earlier session trade. We got the short, and then it pulled back, and then low hanging fruit for the London session. And then obviously this high then became a high that is going to tell you that we're going to do a dump and pump, right? And that's going to give you the signal for the long trade for the New York session. Okay, so that's literally how that happened. So now let's count the breaks here, guys. So we had our first break, okay? And then it broke through this level again, right? We're not breaking this above level yet. And then here we had a trigger, right? So when I see those things, I just draw it out. But it broke the low down here again. So we have 3 breaks, right? And then now for the 4th break on Friday, which somewhat tried to reverse, but again, Friday just wasn't, they just were not participating on Friday, right, to move this market, right? So, this could possibly, this signal right here, right, this is a signal, but, it's not, we're still, nothing has yet happened here. But oftentimes when we do not get the move, right, whether sometimes it could be 3 days of breakout traders and the trade happens on the day 4, right? This looks like the trade is going to happen, Monday for the reversal, right? So we're just going to be watching. We're going to be watching the level, because then this is going to be the previous day high when the market opens. Right, so we're going to be watching for price to break through these levels, right? Because obviously now we have already exceeded the 3 levels of drop, the 380R. Could this market reset? Absolutely, it can, but we don't know what's going to happen. But typically, the next step would be for this thing to break through, right? But again, it could totally just reset, right? So there was a bit of a reversal trade here, right, for the earlier session, but again, not nothing really for New York, right? It was not a coiling and, consolidation and then continuing up, to go long. It just did nothing. It did nothing for pretty much a lot of the instruments on Friday. So hopefully Monday is going to be a big move. Okay. So that's what it looks like when it's like 4 days out. All right. Um, this one looks 3 days with two breaks. So this one could be a possible, um, looking for the new break. So same thing here. We had the inside day, but again, it like barely pinned those areas, right? But we really broke out on Monday. Monday's when it actually broke out, but then it proceeded to close back inside, right? And put that high in place. And then we had, because it broke through the previous day level, then this became not only a first green day, but it confirmed that this peak was, the peak low, right? And remember, guys, these breakouts fail all the time. So it could be green one day and then red the next day, right? It could totally do that. So we had the trade earlier in the session. Again, this is a Asia pair anyway, right? So those of you who do trade this market, you guys had a really fantastic week. Okay. So, all right, we got our peak, reset here, and then we had our first break. Now, this, guys, look, this was a true inside day. It did not break any levels at all. So we don't necessarily count this day. However, if you were trading this day, you did get a reversal, right? After it did the low hanging fruit right here in London, you're able to take this long, right? But again, this one, for whatever the case may be, it still gave a trade, right? I can't promise how beautiful it's going to be, but it still gave a trade. All right. So then here we are on Friday where we have our second break, right? Again, this thing broke through. Again, it continues to trigger the breakout traders. We have this higher high on the inside here. So again, this looks like a beautiful pullback. This is like an order flow. And usually when we see that, it also could just mean that we could be looking for this thing to set up, for a nice buy low trade, right? I don't know what's going to happen. But of course, obviously would love for it to, give us this last push so that we can break that third previous day high level and then, perhaps look for a short. But again, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is just what I'm seeing that's playing out. And this is giving you an idea of what to kind of look for if this is something that you do trade. Okay. I don't trade these markets because I don't trade Asia. I'm often considering it, but I just don't trade it at the moment. Oil, this is a 44 on oil. Now this one, let's see, Friday here, we broke out, closed in breakout on Friday, and the breakout failed, and it confirmed, right? It had that little ping up there. So the moment it broke through this low, and then it hit the other side of the range, right? This then became confirmed peak low. Okay, and so this is day one, and this is day two. Okay. Now, I know you're saying, okay, it did close below. It's just a lower, it's not a first red day signal. It did close below the open, okay? But you look back and see there's nothing here. It didn't break any levels down here. Like, it didn't do that. It made that low. It did not break that, okay? So this one had a lower close. And we had a beautiful long trade for Wednesday on day 3. Okay. Now it did close and break out. So this could be trying to trick you into going short. But it's just not doing that yet because we actually had a higher high here, right? Because remember this little bitty, you know, when it triggered this level, the daily high, right? That confirmed this is day one and then this is day two. We now went higher. So the higher high. So that letting us know, guys, that we're going to be going long and to be looking for a long trade on Thursday. Okay. So we start again, right? Because you know, day three, which is Wednesday, starts into day one again, and then two, and then three. So now we have this break. We have this break, and then it broke again on Friday. So we have three. And the reason why this is counting it as four, obviously, is because it broke this level, right? But I'm also going to look at it as, okay, now we broke structure. We have the higher high. I'm going to also count it like that. We have our 3 days of breakout traders. Okay. So I don't know, again, if this thing is going to continue to break up a little bit more and then come up to this level before it finally breaks down. I don't know. I have no idea. But typically when we see this, then it's either going to give us a reversal, or, you know, it could just reset, right? It could just reset. But it's definitely a pair that I'll be looking at to see how it's going to play out when the market opens. Okay. All right. So I think, you know, we went through, you know, a few examples here so you kind of get the idea of why this is one of my favorite setups to look for, right? Because so many things have happened. So many confirmations are there. So I'm looking for the market to reverse. And of course, if it's like right now, like with this particular market here with crude, it is out of balance, right? It closed in breakout. So again, this high is going to be the previous day level. It could totally break out again and then start to fail, right? And that's what I'm looking for, right? We just have to see what happens. If it doesn't happen and it goes the other way, then we go the other way. But, you know, this is just, you know, an idea here that you can think about. All right, guys. So that is all for today. And let me know if you have any questions. But for now, we will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.